yeah. One time for my guy, yeah. Hold it ground, hold me down, yeah. You know I shine, I'ma shine, yeah. My God, hold me down, I'ma shine, yeah. My God, watch me shine. Whoa, whoa, I'm gonna shine. Whoa, you know I gotta shine, watch me shine.
All right, y'all. It is time to shine. It is time to shine. We are back. We are back for another very special edition of the Run the Jewelz podcast series and also live series. I'm your host, Julian Smartrimple, King Jewelz, here for the first episode for the month of August, you all. This year is moving by quickly. For those who are just tuning in, we are here for the top of the month to have our first episode for this month of August, and you are here at the Run the Jewelz podcast show and vidcast series. We are going to tap in this whole month and talking to movers and shakers in their own right who are doing some major things within the community and also that are following their dreams and their aspirations, you all. I'm excited for all the entrepreneurs and all the leaders, especially that I even follow and that I even partner with in some capacities versus not. And we are going to be hearing from them about their experience and how this year has been going for their business and also even for their own craft and their own profession. And so episode 165 is titled Why You Should Be Eating Towards Your Blood Type. We talk about health and wellness on the RTJ show. We talk about personal development. And most importantly, we talk about financial education and also financial literacy. And so you are in for a treat for my very special guest, who is a VIP, Jewel. He's no stranger to the RTJ show. He actually was our first ever literally our first ever interview guest that we hosted for season 1 of RTJ. And so he's back for more. He's definitely a brethren in the kingdom. And also he's a part of our King Builders ministry that we host for young men and young kings that are wanting to follow and also wanting to study the word of Yah. And so he actually is a youth development professional. And most importantly, he is a personal trainer. He works on other people's health and wellness and making their bodies into a living sacrifice and chiseling and improving their body's physique and their overall health and wellness. And so I'm going to get ready to bring him in a second. Share and like this video if you haven't already. We want to make sure that we are sharing all the jewels of wisdom that we are able to get this evening. You can listen to us on all podcast platforms. All of our previous episodes from season 1 are being released. And so you can search for us, the Run the Jewelz Show, on all podcast platforms, and you can listen to some of our previous episodes. We also just recently started streaming our previous season episodes on our YouTube channel. We're in the process right now. We're getting a separate Run the Jewelz Show YouTube channel page. But right now you can still see our YouTube episodes from season 3 just by subscribing or searching for Julian Smartrimple. You can see all of the previous episodes we've done this season for season 3 and also some of our other recent podcast episodes. Again, if you are interested in being a guest on the show, or even if you have any questions for my guest on the show this evening. If at any time during tonight's episode, you can list them in the comment section and we'll get to them shortly. And so I'm about to get ready to bring in my very special guest. But before we do that, each and every episode, we have a sponsor that we highlight for the RTJ show, one that is actually sponsoring each of our episodes throughout the season. And so episode 165, you're going to see who has sponsored tonight's episode. So take a look and we'll make sure that we give highlight to our VIP sponsor for tonight's episode. So take a look with me. So again, shout out to our VIP sponsor for tonight's very special episode is from none other than Hope Christian International Ministries Incorporated. Hope Christian International Ministries is an organization that works based out of Riversest, Liberia in West Africa in the motherland. And so you are going to be able to see how you can support them for their international projects, you all. They do mission work. They have a school for elementary all the way to middle school that has been birthed up from the ground up. They're into rural agriculture, that they work with different projects in the community in Riversest. I even went on a project with the founder, John Hope, who is the founder of Hope Christian International Ministries. And so shout out to our VIP sponsor for tonight. You can click the link in the comment section to see how you can support Hope Christian International Ministries Incorporated. And so if you're interested in being a VIP sponsor, you can also click the link that I'm about to drop in the comment section to see how your business or your service can be highlighted on some of our future episodes for season 3. And so I think my special guest is ready. He's queued up. He's in the pocket, ready to drop the jewels on you all this evening. He goes by none other than Brandon Mashack, who is, again, a trainer. He is an entrepreneur. He is an author. And most importantly, he is a speaker. And he's going to be talking about why you should be eating towards your blood type for all of those who are trying to improve their health and wellness and are not just relying on vaccination shots to prevent them from catching any COVID-19 strands or even any other illnesses or sicknesses. We are going to be talking about what you can do with your life and with your eating and dieting regimens to eat towards your blood type. And so I'm getting ready to bring in my very special guest, Mr. Brandon Mashack. B, how you feeling this evening, King?
Hey, Shalom. I'm doing pretty good today, man. Just out here, just letting the dogs roam in the dog park. While I talk to you, got a nice little lake view, the sun and the clouds out. So it's nice out here. Feeling good.
I feel it, King. I feel it. Well, you already know you're a VIP jewel guest of the RTJ show. I told them you were actually our first ever interview that we did. So shout out to you again, King, for coming back to run the jewels with us for season 3. But tell us a little bit about your background, where you're originally from. Tell us where you're currently residing right now, and also tell us about why this is an important subject for you to discuss with us this evening.
So, my current background: born and raised in Georgia. I also lived in Florida for 5 years, from like 2010 to 2015. Um, started what as a nutrition well, started in visual arts, and then around college while living in Florida, the half naked lifestyle state, decided to lose some weight and get into working out. And just the questions and some of the comments I was getting just motivated me, to get into personal training, especially with seeing grandparents, and their health diminish. So um, got into personal training, and then shortly after got into nutrition. Came across blood type studies and things of that nature. Maybe like 3 or 4 years ago or so, and it's been a great journey, man. It's been a lot of healing, been a lot of progress. Um, you know, Very fulfilling journey. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about the journey to wellness, and also in literally achieving the purpose that we were all created to be. And so, for those that are just tuning in, we're here with my very special guest, Brandon Mashack, for episode 165 of the RTJ Show podcast series. Why you should be eating towards your blood type is what we are talking about this evening. And so, B, like, I know you just recently came back. For those that don't know, or for those that don't follow you on social, you just came back from the motherland, specifically in the East African region. And so tell us a little bit about, before we dive in to the subject of blood types, like why did you make that journey back to the motherland? Why was it important for you to do it in this season versus in previous seasons? And also tell us a little bit about, so people can know, what is the motherland like, and also how are the people in the motherland, especially.
man, talk about fulfilling moments. That was definitely a fulfilling journey. The main motivator towards this um, is I'll start off with really faith at the end of the day. When you grow up in say Christianity and things, and you read in the Bible, you realize, hey, these people sound a little bit like us, and that sent me on a journey to and I'm sure sent many others on, looking up their DNA, looking up their last names. Unfortunately, I actually still have a Hebrew last name, Meshach, or what I found out was pronounced Mashak, and that the previous spelling is Meshach, and that that dates back to the Kikuyu tribe in Kenya, and their oral tradition is that they descend from the tribe of Asher of Israel. So that literally makes me a bloodline Asherite. And it's just very interesting because I've seen a lot of things that how their life parallels ours. Multi-talented, uh, very prosperous. Into multiple different things. Olive oil is a big thing. The tribe of Asher provided oil for all the camp, and I use olive oil in everything almost. Um, and I mean, it's just crazy when you find the answers to this is why I am the way I am. This is the people Yah created me with I belong to, and so I wound up. Not even so. I found out my family wasn't a part of the slave trade. We migrated here around the Civil War, and so it's very interesting to know that my family only really experienced probably other things, but just the Assyrian, just the Assyrian slavery. And so going to Kenya, I had connected with a tribe member. We've been talking for about a month, teach each other about, American hair is motherland hair. We sound like a third world country to him over there. Um, but going there was great, man. The people are it's really like a brother sisterhood situation. When asking certain people what tribes they're from, and they find out, I'm Kikuyu tribe, they're like, oh, the Swahili and this tribe, we really look at each other as brother and sister. And then, you find out, oh, they're also Bantu tribes. And then, I had researched before this trip, Bantus are actually Israelites. And so it's crazy because, I'm really amongst a lot of people who actually, some of them know who they really, really are, even before Africa migration. And so it was just a really fulfilling trip. The food was great. I mean, you can taste the lack of chemicals. You know what I mean? We have stuff that's illegal in our food, and that's have stuff that's illegal in other countries that's legalized in our food. Um, the currency is different. The USD is definitely a little bit is definitely a little more up there. So going there, you're paying $3.50 for a gourmet meal. Um, Unfortunately, you learn that Black Americans are the least demographic that visits Kenya, and I think we could definitely attribute that to probably our lack of knowledge of stereotypes and propaganda with how America has depicted Africa. They have cities, they have everything we have. You know, Maybe certain things aren't as updated, but you learn that they are so much less materialistic and idealistic than us, and they really have that village mentality. The poor people there aren't even homeless. Poor people even have homes, in the slums. So it's just such a different situation where I would say, if you're gonna move to Kenya, um, definitely realize, you'll be sacrificing a little bit of material, but you'll be gaining a lot of soul, a lot of love, hard work. These are hard workers. Um, um, and I mean, the driving is different. Steering wheel on the right side, driving on the left side. That almost got me arrested a couple of times. 'Cause
Yeah,
my
talk about that, because people be thinking that folks drive on the right side, and even that the police are the same overseas as they are here in the States. Like, talk about that
You know what
experience.
you learn, really, man? Nobody wants you to go to jail. Nobody actually wants you to put you behind bars. Nobody actually wants you to. Nobody like care, like lacks so much care about you that they would just do whatever to meet a quota. I don't even know if the police there have quotas. Luckily, the Kikuyu tribe is the ruling class of Kenya, over 45 tribes. Some of these tribes even enslaved and genocided Kikuyu Israelites in the past. So you have literally Israelites ruling over certain tribes that actually enslaved them in the past. That's literally Bible prophecy come true. And now you have with the police, luckily the tribe member, I know her mom works with chief of police. They have that, pool. And you know, I hit a curb one time, leaving the airport. Guy stopped me. Hey, yo, what are you doing? How old are you? How old are you? Trying to find out my age. He thinks I'm like 21. I'm said I'm 28. I learned real fast that Kikuyus have a distinct look than the other tribes of Africa in Kenya. And so spotting another Kikuyu is actually not hard based off of how they carry themselves, what they're selling, and say the pigment, the lighter brown tones of their face and roundness of their face. And so, my rental guy luckily was able to get him to let me go. But I could tell you had genuine concern. He was trying to get me off the road so I didn't hurt anybody. Then I got stopped at an intersection. I made a wrong turn on the wrong side of the street,
Yeah.
and that cop got right in front of my car at that point. And he literally hopped in the back seat and everything, to find out what's going on. So my friend, Juanita, she's talking to the police. She's talking to the police, man, like in Swahili. She knows like 5 languages. They're all smarter than us. They're like 5
Yeah.
languages by the time they're 21. and don't have to really work till like 25, you know,
Wow.
because they're with their family. But you know, he basically after like 20 minutes of talking in their language, she you know, flipped a couple bucks and he said a little couple things he left out. And so, you know, what I was also learning is that on top of these people not really wanting you to go to jail, you know, people really want to just live a decent life there. A lot of people have fear of like scammers and things like that. You know, there's definitely probably thieves here and there, but I didn't experience that.
Yeah.
But you know, you can get out of trouble if you have a little bit of money on you, but where that feels or sounds corrupt, right? I mean, you know, what's going on here in America. I think we
Yeah.
can all agree to, we would much rather suffer a little bit of punishment of paying, you know, this little something and getting a $500 ticket or going to jail.
Right.
Because I definitely was put in situations where I belonged in jail. You know what I mean? I'm driving for the first time, like, and there's no traffic laws.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
y'all definitely kept me. He kept me safe, um, and everything. Like, yeah, they really. I mean, you know, they really want Americans there. They really want Americans there. I mean, we are an influence in a sense to them because there is westernization, but they still a
Absolutely.
lot more traditional. Polygamy is a normal thing there. I mean, which, you know, I know was something common with ancient Israelites. For them, it's a completely different mindset with marriage. You know, some people are monogamous, some people are polygamous. I'm monogamous personally, but you know, you just learn just how unconditioned these people's minds are. You know, really, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm pretty sure officers do their job. You know what I mean? They're, you know, very well, but you can still very tell that these people don't want to see you fail. You know, they don't want to see you go to jail. Like, I could feel it, you know, in here in talking to them and trying to get out of situations. You know.
Yeah. And that's real right there, especially when it comes to the motherland. For those that are just tuning in or just listening on the podcast, we're here with my very special guest, Brandon Mashack, but he said his name is pronounced Mashack now, so he found out the correct pronunciation of the name. So we're here talking about why you should be eating towards your blood type for episode 165, and Brandon just came back from Kenya in East Africa for his first ever time stepping foot on the motherland. And I know it was a phenomenal sabbatical journey for him. And he was just breaking down how it is really over there, and not how America or other nations try to depict Africa, especially East or West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that have not traveled already to the motherland, what are you waiting for? Especially now that COVID restrictions are up and down, I would still highly suggest putting it on the bucket list. I've traveled to Liberia, and then I was looking to travel to Ghana and also Sierra Leone once some of the travel restrictions loosen up. But definitely, you heard from Brandon and you're hearing from myself. If you are a person of African descent or African Caribbean descent, you have to make it to the motherland. It's nothing like saying that you went there versus reading about it or watching other people on the gram do it. And so, B, talk about now when it comes to eating. I know you have a ton of clients that you put on game, and we've even had conversations when it comes to eating more healthy and eating more in touch with your blood type. And so for those that may not know, like give them a little bit of breakdown in like what is in the importance about your blood type, and also why they should even, for one, know their blood type so that they should be eating certain foods that are within their blood type location.
So let's kick it off, right? You know, there's so many different diets in the world, right? You have paleo, keto, vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, omnivore, you know, all these different diets, right? But what is the one determining factor that individualizes a person into what you fit in? Well, what's the number one cause of death in the United States? Heart attack / disease. What does your heart pump all day? Blood. When people go and get allergy tests done, right? What is the first thing that they look at? Or what is it that they draw? Your blood. What do ancient religious texts say that where the soul is housed in? The blood. And so the blood is the very first thing you should look at to see what foods are beneficial nutrients and voids for you. These studies come from Dr. Diadamo, and a lot of studies have come, after those studies as well. And I've been blessed to, prove these studies to myself by case studying, and it's allowed me to have a very long list of healings of different diseases, illnesses, and improvements, mental improvements, things like that. The blood, it has to do with lectins, um, and how the lectins are affected by different foods. And you have O, A, B, O, A, B, and AB in that order. And we have mutations. O is the first blood type of the human species. A is a mutation from that. B is a combination of O's and A's having children, and ABs are a combination of all three of them mating over time. And so, the blood is the very first thing that you want to look at, even when it comes to understanding certain characteristics about yourself. Your body's hormone and chemical processes are very, very, they're just like that. Um, and so, like you have O's, right? More logical, decisive. You have A's, a lot more in touch with their feelings, creative. You have B's, there's something deeper to a conversation with them all the time. AB's, more mental exhaustion they're going to experience, but they have everybody's potential. And so you see this clear design, that comes with the human being, that how we were created, and that helps, individualize and make us different people. So definitely look at your blood type. Um, it's one of those pieces of information that it's really the most important information to know about yourself health wise. But, America does make it hard, to figure it out. We should all know our blood type, expect at birth, but, you unfortunately got to go out your way to find that out. And so, yeah, like O's, better carnivores, A's, better vegetarians, vegans, B's, more carnivores or vegetarian, AB's, they're definitely way better with veganism, and maybe vegetarianism. And so you see like where certain bodies need more protein, certain bodies need more carbs. Everybody could survive off of being vegan. We would just have to be as active as we need to constantly burn those carbs and fats, And so I will say that eating for my blood type and vegetarianism at least is even a goal for me sometime in the future, But right now I'm still at least on halal meat.
Right. Absolutely, King. And that's what is important when it comes to just knowing your options that you have. Just like Brandon said, there are tons of different lifestyles that you can follow when it comes to your eating and also your wellness. But definitely we're talking about tonight for episode 165, why, for one, you need to know your blood type, and for two, that you may want to do some research after today's episode on what foods and what items that literally go hand in hand with eating towards your blood type. And so talk to us about when you talk to your clients, for those that may be, of course, interested even in soliciting your services, or even want to know how do you bring clients in to eat towards their blood type, and also what fitness exercises and things of that nature that they need to do along with that. Like what do you do in the initial consultation when you're really trying to introduce clients who may not have ever heard of this eating towards your blood type in any way or shape or form?
So what I'll do is when somebody inquires about coaching, I'll immediately try to set up a video chat about their goals, like to really personify the personal part of personal training. And so, we'll talk about, everything. I'll give like a brief, explanation about blood type, ask them what it is, and, maybe tell them a little bit about theirs. But I grocery shop with my clients. I have an app where, I sign up video tutorial workouts, their nutrition plan on a custom scheduler. Um, when they sign up, we try to grocery shop right after that first session. And so, we'll try to, work out, go through a fit test, just to test for physicality. And then say meet at preferably a farmer's market or, something like that. If they're used to Kroger or Walmart, well, we'll work our way up. You know what I mean? Um,
Right.
and so, it's just a great experience to do that because you really get to teach a person subconsciously how to eat, for their body. When you're helping them create the meal plan, you already have their calories, carbs, protein, fats calculated. And then you have a list of foods that they can and can't have off their blood type. Well, all they have to do is create the meal plan themselves
Mm.
and just plug and play into their macros. And that's when the more you eat like that and do that, you'll subconsciously memorize, okay, this food I should have, this food I should have. Oh, you can look at any menu and tell how many calories, carbs, proteins, and fats are in like a food or a menu or whatever. And then, of course, know what's good for your blood type or not. Um, what was your other question?
Oh no, you were breaking it down just initially, like what people can expect when they are first getting consulted by you, and then I was going to pivot for those who may be listening or maybe watching on YouTube or here on Facebook. If you have any questions for Brandon, my special guest, at any time, you can list them in the comment section, and we'll get to them shortly. No question is too small or too outrageous. We're all here to learn, including myself. And so feel free to put any comment or any questions in the chat. But yeah, B, I was going to ask when it comes to especially knowing your blood lineage, like your father or your mother's blood type or DNA even, like, do you think that that's something that people should also research in advance to know, let's say, what my mom or what my father, especially if they're still living or if they've, God forbid, passed on already? Like, what do you say when it comes to DNAs and blood type of the parents or the father or mother?
Extremely important. You want to know why, when you get older, your taste buds change, certain foods that you like change, certain even personality changes, or you gain certain allergies and lose certain allergies. Well, that's most likely because you have two parents of two different blood types. So using me, for example, my mom is a O positive and my dad is a B negative. Now, quick side note, negatives are different from everybody. Okay. Negatives are similar to positives in certain ways, but negatives are, that's a different case. Probably try to circle back around to. But I was heavily lactose intolerant as a child growing up, just like O blood types would be, the first blood type of the human species. We didn't eat dairy. But then, we have the dairy industry. It caused a mutation in about 30 to 33% of human beings, where now you have human beings that have lactose tolerance and can actually lose weight off of dairy. My B positive blood type would actually represent that blood type. So as I got older, I actually became immune to dairy. It actually became something that, helped my body. And of course, there's very, very bad dairy. There's junk dairy, but, you have more authentic, options. And plus, I'm doing almond milk, not cow milk. Um, but that there answered. This is why dairy used to put me in the hospital as a child. Internal bleeding, bad congestion, throwing milk up in chunks, all infections, all type of stuff. As an adult, I can have, certain cheeses have certain, things that have dairy and it doesn't affect me at all. And so it's very interesting because, because of mutations and DNA manipulations and things like that, now we have human beings, with different diets. And yeah, knowing your parents' blood type is going to let you know, oh, this is why I've stayed the same throughout my life. If you have two parents of the same blood type, or this is why I've had such a drastic change in how I had to eat throughout my life, because I've taken after the recessive gene from the parent, which would be my mom, the O. And then I grew up into the whatchamacallit gene, the original gene that I am. My birth blood type would be positive. So yeah, knowing the parents is extremely important. It's going to answer some questions for you that that just knowing your blood type might not be able to answer.
Yeah, and that's something that I would even second with what B is saying, that when it comes to especially illnesses and sicknesses, a lot of times, as Brandon I know will share throughout tonight's episode, is literally not hereditary, as a lot of people may say. There's different ways that what we're going to teach, and also Brandon's going to show you all, that you can counteract and also contradict those sayings of this runs in my family, or this is something that my mother or my father has. And so you're speaking that over your own self, just from simple education on what you eat, and also eating towards things like your blood type, what your blood type solely needs and what it desires. And so be like, talk to them about when it comes to the mental piece of folks that are certain blood types, let's say A, B, or even let's stay with O, because O is what I know you teach a lot about. Like why have certain people struggled with certain health issues or certain illnesses based off of what you've seen either with your clients or even personally with yourself, versus when they started eating towards their blood type, that some of those sicknesses, those illnesses and diseases, they either subsided or all the way were eradicated. Like talk to us about what you've seen.
It's too true as far as the hereditary thing. You got to think, you have a family that most of them are the same blood types, and y'all eat certain ways, then y'all are gonna suffer the same things. It's not, maybe you want to look at, maybe you can look at it as a, I don't know, a generational curse has been lifted because somebody decided to and the family decided to break that by pursuing truth, and knowledge. And so, for example, I had a Muslim client from Turkey. Her and all her families are A blood types. All of them dealt with acid reflux and heartburn. All of them, every single one of them, on medication.
Wow.
She cut out most stuff, that was bad for her blood type, but she was still dealing with that. I said, like, what are you eating? Well, I mean, tomatoes. I still like tomatoes, which I'm actually even allergic to tomatoes. I actually had tomatoes in Kenya. Was way better than our tomatoes. I had the bubble guts a little bit after, but it was a little worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But tomatoes are linked right to heartburn and acid reflux. The moment she cut that out, she never needed medication again. And the next thing you know, you give that advice to your family. Oh, shoot, all your family's off of medication. And it's just a situation where, you got to realize your culture doesn't respect your body. Like, let's just put it at the end of the day. You can grow up, used to tacos. You can grow up used to Jamaican beef patties. You can grow up. It don't matter. Your human body has a way that it wants to operate. And so that it's supposed to operate. And so your want, is not, doesn't trump your body's need. You know what I mean? And so it was a situation where she really had to, she had to cut out some things that's probably she grew up on. But it broke those curses of health. Now, when you're talking about the mental piece, very, very interesting. I think it speaks to why, say, Yah didn't really want humanity to do so much mixing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What happens is so O's, right? Like I said, considered, very logical, decisive, orderly, but they have high adrenaline. When they stress, their adrenaline rushes. I had very bad anger problems as a kid, especially if dairy, is in my body. So I'm like literally always out of my mind. And so if your adrenaline is always through the roof, then yeah, you're going to be an over aggressive individual, probably bipolar at some point, which I think that's more of a spirit. But you know what I'm saying? Like certain things can really happen, like from you constantly damaging your body that way, and it sends you to a mental frenzy.
That's real.
A blood types, high cortisol. they stress harder than any other blood type. The most sensitive blood type across the spectrum is an A blood type. They have they even stressing will cause their cortisol, their body to burn muscle, and so that slows their metabolism, make them gain fat, and so they'll deal with hypocompulsive disorder, shortness of breath, anxiety, a lot, because it's that cortisol hormone. And so for my A's, we will meditate, at the end of our workouts, a lot of time we pray and meditate, and just to help them achieve that balance and keep that. B blood types like me, we're considered the most mentally balanced across the blood types, but because we use so much brain capacity, being a mix of O and A, we can go to each of the spectrum.
Yeah.
That we are more prone to things like Alzheimer's or dementia, later in life, if we don't take care of ourselves. And so you see, because that combination of adrenaline and cortisol creates nitric oxide in our blood. And so we have this nitric oxide that actually numbs our body in a time of stress. So we come off nonchalant, we come off unresponsive, we come off carefree, to people a little bit. But it's really a situation where I can't express myself as in times of stress. I can't express myself as deeply as another person or relate to, say, things like anxiety and depression as much as another person, because I have this hormone that numbs my body in the time of stress. You could call it maybe even deflecting. You know what I mean? So I want to wait to come back to something. But
Absolutely.
we're a type of people that we process things, we think on it, and look for the deeper meaning, and then come back. You know what I mean? So slower thinkers. And then you have AB blood types. They're a mix of everything. I mean, emotional roof, anxiety, the depression. They don't really like to talk about their problems. A lot of times, something in their blood causes them, when in time of stress, they hold things in. But they aggress mostly like an O blood type. And most blood types like B's and ABs are always going to lean a little bit more to the O, since that's the first blood type. And so for me, rather than stressing anxiety like an A, I would stress mostly like a O if I get to that point. You know what I mean? It would just take longer for me as an adult to get to that point of cracking, because of that NO in the blood. And so, yeah, ABs, we're always meditating. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have more potential than everybody because they're a mix of all the blood. But it's a situation where they're going to deal with more mentally, and their diet is a little bit more complicated. And so even with knowing the blood type studies, sometimes we'll need to go through a little bit of trial and error, testing certain things to make sure it's accurate, because humans are still mutating. And then especially Rh negatives, like I said, they're a different type of human being, in a more type of ways than one. And so, we go through a little bit more trial and error. But very, very interesting individuals as well. So
stay with that point too, because I know we talk about this quite a bit when it comes to emotional, let's just say emotional outbursts. We won't even call it like emotional anxieties and things that people may react certain ways based off of what foods that they're eating, what the moon lunar phase is doing in the sky, even based off of someone's body cycles and body, let's say morphing, like we were just talking about. Like, talk to us about how and why do you think people are not accompanying, let's say, eating with also counseling, or eating, like you said, with praying, or eating towards their blood type, so that they do not lose their composure or lose their cool all the time and be looked at as that person?
I just don't think we're educated correctly, in schools about how your mental and your nutrition is, and your spiritual, health is all connected. I always feel like this, man. Your spirit is going to lead where your mind, is going, right? And then your mind tells your body what to do. And so you got to understand that your health is important in that order. And you know, if you mess up on any one of the any one of the parts, it's gonna affect the other. So if you eat something wrong, yeah, it's gonna throw your hormones in your body. Your digestive system is gonna go up. You might have a stomach ache. It's gonna affect your mood. You know what I mean? And so it's literally all intertwined. But yeah, we just don't really make that connection because we're not taught. We're not taught that at the end of the day. Um, we're very stuck in this physical realm. We don't understand how the spirit really does affect. I mean, your literal your perspective on, if you have a perspective that I'm going to heal from something, your body is going to respond to that and have a high percentage of healing. If you have a negative outlook, man, I don't know, your body is going to respond to that, and it might not heal how you want it to. So you really got to understand life and death is in the power of the tongue as well. That spirit, you know what I mean? Your body listens to you. You have a relationship with your body. You know what I mean? You're not your body. You have a relationship with your body. You know what I mean? And so once people are really taught that perspective and understand how it all coincides, people are going to be able to put all three of these parts of health in harmony and have, you know, healthy lives.
Yeah, and that's and that's real when it comes to being in total alignment. We know that you talk about the spirit and the soul. We talk about the mental. We talk about the physical. Of course, when it comes to being in total alignment, so that your body can work at optimum levels. And so stay with even the point when it comes to stay with the spiritual side, because we talk about that a lot. But for those that may not be in touch with that side of, let's say, their spirit or their soul, like how can eating put you in a different mindset spiritually, or even basically fasting, detoxing, along with eating with your blood type, putting you in a different mindset spiritually? Like, talk about the connection between that, and also why people need not neglect their spirit and their soul just as much as their mental and physical.
Well, think about it. Like I said, uh, operating mostly as an O, you know, that dairy definitely, you know, would put my hormones out of order. My adrenaline is through the roof, and now I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? That directly affects your spirit. So I mean, that's literally it. You know, your mood could really be affected by the way you eat. Um, what was that the other question you said? It left my mind for a second.
Oh no, you good. I was just saying, why do you think people tend to neglect that spirit and that soul component more than they do when it comes to the mental or the physical, and how eating correctly can even put them in a different area spiritually, the same way eating can put you in a different space mentally or physically?
Well, you know, this earth, man, this earth is literally made as a testing ground for our souls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally the purpose of this planet, is to grow our souls, you know, to ascend to Elohim hood underneath Elohim. And we're just not taught. We live in a very physical, ideological society. Um, and this constant idealization and this constant being stuck in the physical realm, and you know, just things that aren't important, they kill the spirit, they kill the soul. That's why I say going to Africa is so much healthier for your soul, because these people don't have much, and because well, they have things, but they don't have as much. And when you don't have as much, you learn to appreciate each other and your village more, you know. And so we're just really not taught that you know, that the spirit is important. There's a lot of things, you know, about, say, this country in particular, that's made to really kill the spirit. And you also got to, you know, just think, you know, especially with us black people, we're not home. We're not really home. You know, we're not in the place that's meant to, you know, feed our spirits for real. So it would be even harder for us, because this society isn't ours, you know. Um, so I mean, that's definitely how I see that. Um, Did I answer? All of your point?
Oh yeah, yeah, and then even talk about like detoxing and fasting and cleansing, along with eating specifically towards your blood type. Like, what do you say to clients that want to either detox, cleanse, or fast, or even with yourself? How can eating with your blood type while even detoxing, cleansing, or fasting assist with that too?
Do that, because at the end of the day, you have to flush, whatever junk you have in your body. Doing something like a water fast or a water diet will help. Doing something like a water fast or a water diet will help cleanse the body of all its toxins. Um, Doing a lot now. Say if you like eat right for your blood type, right, or just stick to those foods, even cutting certain things out like sugar or fasting. I mean, yeah, you're not bombarding your body with certain things that's going to damage its health. So you have to just realize that they really do go hand in hand. Um, you know, the fasting part. I mean, that's for the spirit. Again, when you have less, you appreciate more. And so when you fast, you learn to appreciate more because you have less. And you're literally putting
Absolutely.
yourself in a position where you're cutting certain things out. Um, that you might love, you know what I mean? But once you lose that taste for it and that spirit grows, you're a better person at the end of the day. So you should definitely, try fasting, like Daniel fast, water fast, um, different ways, even off of certain media, you know what I mean? Fasting
Yeah.
is always going to improve the spirit. And so again, like you could literally do it both at the same time, improve the spirit and improve the health and improve the mental. Stronger mind comes from fasting. You get more self-control. There's really no loss to fasting, and especially doing it along with your blood type at the same time. So
Yeah,
definitely.
that's real. That's real right there, bro. And especially when it comes to like doing all three together, where you're either praying, you're fasting, and even detoxing and cleansing, and still eating with your blood type. It will literally have you feeling like a superhero at the end of the day. And I know you and I talked about this when you first came on. Like that was actually the first thing that I was taught when I was transitioning off of eating chicken, and I never was heavily into beef, but more chicken. And my blood type was catered more towards fish and
What's
nuts.
yours?
And I think I'm AB, I believe. I think I'm
Oh,
AB.
okay. Got it.
Yeah, so I know when I had researched it based off of even the data online and even some books that talk about eating towards your blood type, I felt much better even having more fish and nuts and then fruits and vegetables and grain, of course, versus being on chicken or any heavy beef. And I never was into pork heavily. I did turkey sausage mostly when I was an adult, but yeah, I definitely been off that pork train for a minute, because that's what's killing a lot of black men that look like us. But that's another subject.
Here's a jelly. Pork just a human being shouldn't be having pork. But the jealous thing I am about ABs is that y'all can be stronger than everybody and not have to be as big. You can literally stay your same size and probably live just as much as me if you actually like really wanted to, for real.
Yeah,
My clients are ABs. It's amazing because again, like they tell me, of course, about their mentality and stuff. But when I start to work them out, they make such fast. They're already stronger than the average person. They make much faster progress, and they recover faster than everybody.
yeah,
Whereas most people be sore for like a whole week they're first starting. AB might only be sore for 3 or 4 days. It's a really amazing thing when you really break down like but y'all had a design, when he created people, and he knew what was going to happen. And so I really
yeah,
find, and I really learn to appreciate too the differences, because these differences will cause you to have certain struggles. But say you have different people around you it's gonna help you overcome some of those struggles. Like bees are usually considered like a little bit more insensitive than most people because they have less stress, right? And so you
Right.
can come out less relatable. But if I'm say around an A or an AB who's a little bit more sensitive and they kind of hold me to certain things and still understanding that feelings are important, more as just as important as knowledge, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to constantly and actively try to relate and try to say have a softer tone, try to like it it's literally the situation where we can cover each other's faults if we learn to respect and appreciate our differences in the design.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's real, King, especially when it comes to just being able to know who's in the building, who's on your team, not just knowing personality types, but even knowing blood types can give you a better perspective of why certain people mesh well versus others are clashing all the time. And
I
so I
do.
know, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I do think it's important to not use it like zodiacs, where say you just assume a whole bunch of things about people and just say, oh, you can't be this way because you're that way. In my experience, I do definitely think blood type's a lot more accurate, but it is easy to get into that perspective of, oh, you have to be this way because you're this. You do also have to approach the situation that people have different experiences. People sometimes have trauma. Certain experiences change people outside of what their natural self would be too. And so it
Yeah,
is important to have a perspective of this information can help me understand a person better. Not this information can help me, categorize or just predict or box this person.
absolutely. And that's a good rule of thumb. And that's what I was going to transition to, matter of fact, because we got to talk really quick before we get ready to finish up about, of course, COVID and the different
Yeah.
variants that they're basically opening up a new variant every single week and every single month now, from Delta to Lambda. They're going to go through all the different Greek letter of the Greek letter.
Brainwaves actually is what some of them are named after too.
Right, right. So talk to us about, like, where do you see being able to eat healthy and being able to eat even clean towards your blood type either progressing, or do you see it regressing due to, of course, COVID, due to food shortages? Like, what are your thoughts on what someone can do right now if they potentially have struggled through being infected by COVID, or that others around them are basically just recovering from having COVID? Like, what are some things you would tell them?
Well, with COVID is especially important to know what your blood type is, because you got to understand that certain blood types already have the antigens to kill COVID, and certain blood types don't have the antigens to kill COVID. And so, depending on your blood type, it can be a weakness or strength. But all that really means is just take care of your body, your immune system, and your body will be able to create the antigens when it's introduced to your body. And so, like somebody could say, okay, yeah, vitamin D. Vitamin D is important. That doesn't mean everybody can just go eat oranges. Certain blood types, their stomachs don't deal with the acids very well. You know what I mean? So it's a situation where it's like you do need to know your blood type so you can know what foods are going to be best to strengthen your immune system and make it, and to make you, stronger against COVID. Um, and what was the other thing you said about COVID?
Oh, no, I was just saying, based off of your thoughts, when it comes to, do you think people will be able to still eat towards their blood type with all the food shortages that are on the horizon, or even
You
what
know
is
what?
happening?
I can't say for sure. I definitely think it will be a struggle. I pray fervently, that you'll have access to the food that you need, because, you could be put in a situation where you have to compromise, eating for your blood type because of food shortage. But all that really just means is, hey, preventative measures. We don't talk about preventative measures, enough, right? With COVID, with being healthy, with getting our lungs up. Apples help strengthen the lungs, like, and so with a situation like that, you don't got to go hoard, but maybe buy a little bit extra when you go out. You know what I mean? To have things. Ultimately, y'all provide if you're on his side. But it's definitely important to definitely to at least think about these things, because it is a reality that's coming very fast.
Yeah. And then as we get ready to wind down, King, you're right on par with that. I want you to think about what your final jewel that you want to leave with the audience, what your final jewel for thought is for this episode. We've talked about the importance of knowing your blood type. We've talked about literally eating towards your blood type can prevent you from having sickness, illness, and disease. We've talked about literally the international move that you just made to Kenya and how you were eating cleaner over there versus them being in the States. What would be a final jewel of wisdom that you want to leave with the audience in why it's important to not just know your blood type, but even eat towards their blood type?
My final jewel is, even if you're on the fence with these studies and you don't understand, um, a lot of people call the law of attraction or the universe will bring things to you. Me personally, I call it, Yah will provide and give you the knowledge. Me, there was one point I really prayed for an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and that comes with his blessings and it is curses in a sense. Um, as long as you don't take care of the mind. But when it comes to learning this stuff and understanding this stuff, pray for the knowledge, pray for the know-how, and then, faith without works is dead. Put work towards that. You will come across the truth, and you will come across the information that you need to work for your specific body. I understand certain people have certain illnesses and diseases like Crohn's or whatever, where they really can't eat certain things, probably still that would normally be healthy, for, their blood type, just because their bodies reach a chronic point of certain situations. But there's healing for everybody of all degrees, and so just remember that spirit is the first thing you got to look at. That mental is gonna be next, and all that's gonna boil right back down to the physical. So that's my last jewel on that.
Yeah, that's real right there. Especially being in total alignment is critical in this time more than ever. So tonight's episode is in the books, episode 165, why you should be eating towards your blood type. B, where can they get in contact with you, King, if they want to reach out to you for any services or any consultations, if they want to tap in with you after today?
So you could, if on Facebook, you could find me at Coach B Shack, Coach and then BSHACK, or my full name, Brandon Mashack. Social media, Instagram, you can do Coach B Shack there again. No spaces, of course. Um, and those are pretty much my main socials that you can contact me at. I'm on Thumbtack as well if you want to see my profile. Get Gains or Get Gone LLC on Thumbtack, so you can learn a little bit about that. And then I have getgainsgone.com apparel as well. So, I'm open.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we appreciate you coming on, King. If it's all right, would you mind saying a quick prayer over those that are tuning in, just to bless them with their health and wellness journey, and also just to pray over those who may have been affected by COVID, just really quick before we sign off?
Most definitely. Yahuwah Elohim Sepha'ot, thank you this day for allowing me to be here with my brother Julian here, Father. I thank you for allowing him to be a mentor in my life, Father, and somebody who holds me accountable to serve you and to do your will, Father, Yah. I thank you for allowing this platform that'll help people, learn what they need so they can live a healthy life in all respects, Father, Yah. I pray that you provide peace, that peace that surpasses all understanding for the people that in this time of uncertainty and COVID situations, Father, Yah. I pray that you guide people, that you put in people's mind to truly seek you, Father, Yah. So when they seek you, everything else that they need they can get, because they know that they can ask, and that you always provide, Father. I appreciate everything that you've been doing with this platform and with my life, Father. And I pray that you bless anybody who sees this. In Yahushua HaMashiach's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen, King. It's been a pleasure serving with you. I know we'll be in touch shortly. We appreciate you coming on to Run the Jewelz for another season with your episode, Why You Should Be Eating Towards Your Blood Type. And for those that have tuned in, or those that are going to catch the replay of the podcast or the video, go back and watch the jewels that Brandon was dropping this evening, you all. IB, we'll be in touch, King. I know you at the park, but we'll talk soon, man.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that. No, I didn't expect these girls to start playing with dog. It's all good.
It's all good, bro. We appreciate you, man. Please.
All right, most definitely.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna do a quick wrap up, just to make sure that we cover what was discussed in tonight's very special episode. And so, some of my final jewels for thought. You have to be in tune more with your body now more than ever. COVID was a wake-up call for a lot of people that literally were playing with their body, that they were playing with their health, they were playing with their wellness, because when sickness, illness, and disease comes, you are going to be hit like a ton of bricks the most if your body is not built up strong with your immune system. Everybody can come into certain circumstances and catch or potentially catch a certain sickness, illness, or disease. But your body should be literally a moving train. It should be able to crush through anything that comes in its way because your immune system is built up. So this is something that I do not stress, that I do not stay away from stressing because a lot of people who have transitioned, let's be frank, from COVID, they did have pre-existing illnesses and conditions. We don't want to admit that a lot of times when we think that people have passed on or passed over because of a sickness or illness or a disease such as COVID-19. But real is real. We have to really look at what is the track record of that person's health and even of our own health so that we can do better and also make better decisions when it comes to our eating first, our mental second, and most importantly, your soul and your spiritual component third. And so if you are not in direct alignment, please believe that you are a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. This is not something to play around with more than ever because the writing is already on the wall, and a doctor or someone who is a healthcare professional cannot tell you how you should take care of your own body. You are supposed to be educated and also willing enough to take responsibility for the body that Yah has given you to beat it into become a living sacrifice so that you are able to live out and also experience the best, not the worst, out of this life that you have been given. And so you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the success, but if your body is not able to outlast that success or to last that amount of money that you have attained, then what is the purpose of living? What is the purpose of not being able to enjoy the fruit of your labor if your body is not willing to take you to the end or take you to the final stage? And so this is something to not play around with. Make sure you are definitely making decisions to change your health. If you are struggling right now, there's always resources. We even have wellness kits that we just dropped for this summer going into the fall. Right now, we're going to be redistributing some of our subscription mystery boxes. So tap in even with us, along with what Brandon services and other health and wellness experts and coaches that we have had on the RTJ show, because there's always resources. Laziness is not going to get it done. Getting a vaccination shot is not going to get it done. They even said recently this month that a lot of individuals can be carriers of some of the alternate strands of COVID, such as Lambda and Delta. And so stop listening to the news and the politicians and the doctors and start listening to your own body. Start listening, matter of fact, to your own body And hopefully you know God. If you don't know God, hopefully you can go back and listen to this episode to see different ways that your health and wellness can even get you closer in being able to hear from God. Because a lot of times you could just be stopped up and you could be frustrated. You could be waiting on that frustration or that release. But a lot of times it's based off of what we eat. We see it all the time with people that are stopped up and people that are very moody, very emotional, and very irrational. But when they have that release, they're a totally different person. And so if you have been blessed by tonight's very special episode, feel free to sow a seed with us, you all. You can Cash App us at $SMART, JEWELZ, or you can Venmo at Smart Jewels Enterprises, or you can become a monthly Patreon with us. We just started a Patreon account. And so I pinned the link in the comment section where you can go and click to find out what we do for RTJ with our international podcast and ministry that is powered by Smart Jewels Enterprises, our business entity. But yeah, all the names that you see at the bottom of the screen have been VIP jewel donors or sponsors for season 3. And so the next name that is on here could be you. I'm all about being able to give where you reap and to sow where you've been able to reap from. And this is good soil to sow into. This doesn't go back into my pockets. It goes back into the functioning of the business and also the podcast being able to reach farther and also to be able to attain better quality equipment and outreach. And so if you've been blessed by tonight's very special episode, no seed is too small or too large. And so I'm about to get ready to bring back up where we are going for the rest of season 3. Shout out to those that have been tracking with us already for season 3. We have a ton of more episodes coming for this upcoming fall season. But take a look and see what some of our additional services are that we provide. So it is time to start that show. It is time to start that podcast. It is time to start that online branding and online marketing. So let us help you make your show and your product more professional. Smart Jewels Enterprises, we are a dynamic online platform that services personal development clients, health and wellness clients, and also financial freedom clients for those that are seeking financial freedom, not financial literacy only, but financial freedom. But you can also receive our services, which include podcast show creation, podcast and live streaming services, you all, such as what we're doing tonight, multi-streaming, technical assistance for your production or for your project. We do virtual classroom meeting solutions for educators out there or those who are looking to have courses or workshops or conferences that you are doing for this upcoming fall or school year. And most importantly, webinar hosting and show creative branding. And so if this is you, you can go to www.smart.jewelz.enterprises.org to see how we can service you this upcoming fall and this upcoming school year. Also, if you want to become a monthly Patreon with us, this is a screenshot of our page. All you have to do is click the link that's tagged in the comment section to be a level giver of either diamond, jewel, or platinum. You see the price tags that are attached to each level. This is, again, to help us create more better quality podcasts and also shows for you all. We even will be having some live in-person tapings coming up for the end of this year, and also some more international projects that we're partnering with. But no seed or no donation is too small or too large. We have 3 levels of giving for our Patreon account. So go click the link to see how you can become a local Patreon. Also, You heard me mention that we do talk a lot, and also we do serve a lot of clients in our community with financial education and also financial freedom tactics and strategies to get out of debt so that you can build wealth through assets and through online investments. And so we are going to be having a outreach for this upcoming fall and this upcoming school year season to literally educate you all through our Smart Jewelz Institute, which is going to, again, cover personal development, health and wellness, and most importantly, financial freedom classes and also courses. And so if this is you, definitely you can go to Smart Jewelz, JEWELZ, enterprises.com, or you can click the link that's in the comment section to sign up for our upcoming curriculum and also for our upcoming courses that we're going to be marketing this fall. And also, if you are interested in financial one-on-one coaching, we do serve clients with one-on-one customized coaching plans to not just get out of debt, but to financially manage your assets, which are your wealth building strategies and techniques, so that you can have financial freedom and attain financial freedom. And so click the link in the comment section if this pertains to you, or share this link with someone that may be able to benefit from our services. Last but not least, next week, we are in for a treat. We're with one of our new guests that is going to be a dynamic episode, who's going to be talking with us about college readiness 101 for anyone that has a parent that is getting ready to go to college, or that has some student that is already in college. We're going to be talking to our very special guest, Brandon Jones, who has an organization and a business solely dedicated to getting our teens and to getting our youth ready for their college experience, and also to be able to get ready to graduate and graduate on time, debt-free preferably, and also to have the best college experience. I know I've gone to 2 colleges, a PWI and also a HBCU. Shout out to Hampton University, the real HU, home by the sea, and also Kennesaw State University. Those were the 2 colleges that were able to literally birth my college experience. And so I'm someone that always is an advocate that you can learn a lot from just going to college about business, and also about marketing, also about the real world. And so if this is you, all you have to do is tune in next week on our YouTube channel here on Facebook, or you can catch the podcast episode replay to be able to find out how you or your family members or your children or your son or daughter can benefit from having more college readiness to graduate with success and to graduate on time. And so I'm excited for next week's very special episode with Brandon Jones. So tune in on Facebook, on YouTube, and even we just started a marketing push to be on LinkedIn this fall semester. You can catch our episodes on all podcast platforms that you subscribe to, whether it's Apple, Google, Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, iHeartRadio, any of the podcast platforms that you literally rock with. We are on those podcast platforms. And so you can search the Run the Jewelz podcast or the Run the Jewelz Show. This image that you see on the page is what you will see to know that you subscribed to the correct podcast. And so definitely shout out to our subscribers that have already been tuning in for our season 1 episodes that we are releasing each and every week, preferably on Tuesdays, a new episode from season 1. We're going back to the vault, you all the way to now where we're at season 3, to show you some of our previous work that we put in, and show you some of our previous jewels that have been dropped when we first began this movement of the RTJ show and the RTJ series. And so I'm excited. Episode, I believe it is 45 was just dropped just today with Rachel LaForce. So you can go and listen to that previous episode of how to become a stable and paid female comedian. And so you can take a look at some of our previous episodes and take a listen to the RTJ podcast series. I'm your host, King Jewelz, just here literally wanting to share with you and also to allow my guests to share with you some of their pawn, and they've been able to themselves to be their best version of their self. And so if this episode has blessed you again, you can click the link that's tagged in the comment section, and we'll see you all next week for episode 166. Make sure you are taking care of your body, your mind, and also your soul, because if you don't take care of it, then again, you have no one else to blame but yourself at the end of the day. Not a doctor, not your family, not your job. You are in charge of your body, just like you are in charge of this life that you have been given. And so make a decision to live your best life by first and most importantly, focusing on your health and wellness, because you can have everything in the world, all the gold, all the rubies, all the accomplishments at work or through a business. But if your health is not there, or if it is waning and you're not able to enjoy the fruit of your labor, what was the point of living? And so those are my final jewels for thought. Episode 165 is in the books. Go and share this content with someone you know that can benefit from it. And again, if this has blessed you, feel free to sow a seed with the link that is tagged in the comment section. I'm King Jewelz here, tuning out literally for the week, and make sure you enjoy the rest of your summer break, because I know school is starting back up shortly for all of those college students and all of those parents. I know this is going to be a very interesting fall semester coming up, so stay tuned, you all. But until we meet again, shine like the bright diamond jewel you've been created to be, and make sure you share your light with someone that may be trapped in darkness or may need to hear a word of encouragement, because light can also attract darkness just as it can attract light. But you are a light bearer, and you have a light to share with others, but you have to open up your mouth in order to be able to share that light with others. And so never be afraid to share the light that is within you. I'm your host, King Jewelz, signing off. Peace.